All right, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, good night to another Living World of Darkness rage across the Amazon. Today we find Alonna and Saoirse sitting by a campfire in the Tellurian, chit-chatting about mindless things, I guess. Who knows what two women talk about anymore in the Amazon. Actually, she's probably explaining some of the rules with like the Umbra outside of the cairn and such and the bond.
As the two girls are chatting away, we'll say there's a nice fire and it's kind of early evening, as sunset a couple of hours ago, and William White will appear. He is not wearing his Christmas jumper because it's too bloody hot, and almost finished are his tattoos that spread from his neck down to his wrists, imitating his foliage spirit heritage. And yeah, he'll come up and he has a kind of small little bag with him, and he'll come and he'll sit by the fire, and he won't say anything at first, and he'll make a song and a show about warming himself up by the fire, which is uh, obviously a performance.
Well, by this fire, it's actually rather comfortable temperature-wise. And as you sit down on the ground, the ground seems a little bit more comfortable, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look over. Hello, LWoD.
Evening, Alonna. Lindsay. No, sorry. Saoirse, right?
Hi, Saoirse.
Saoirse, sorry.
It's all right. I'm used to it. I need to get a new name, I think. She kind of winks.
So, how are we this evening? And Will offer over. He has a 4-pack of beer that he has miraculously produced from somewhere.
Nice.
Thank you, LWoD, and she'll take one of them.
Saoirse will take one as well. She's not too much of a drinker, but she won't turn down free alcohol.
I heard your mate and Talatahin had the rite of contrition earlier.
Aye, they did. I heard it went really well, which I'm glad of, honestly.
Will raises an eyebrow and he's like, "Oh, really?" She didn't say anything about it.
Aiden was really happy about it. He was in a very good mood.
I should talk to him.
He's probably off chasing after some thick-hipped kinfolk, knowing him.
Aye, he likes the sturdy hips. She kind of rolls her eyes.
Will doesn't roll his eyes, but does look kind of amused at the comment. Well, I'm glad. I thought it could have gone. Well, I assumed it wouldn't go too well.
Was there something you need, LWoD, or just coming to get comfortable? Share some beer?
Read my mind. Yeah. Yesterday, when Talatahin approached you and Garrett, and you, well, you obviously had an issue with how she presented herself, but she did have something to say.
I had an issue with what she did because she ignored a Clea and distinctly showed different levels of respect to Foster. So that is where my issue was.
Garrett is Wormfur.
Aye, he's still a Foster.
Yeah,
As am I.
This is where it gets tricky, isn't it?
Aye. If she'd have not ignored the Cleoth, I probably would have let it slide. but that's disrespecting two people based purely on their tribe. And that isn't acceptable, especially in a place like here, where those people that you're disrespecting may be the very ones who keep you alive. You can't be burning those bridges, especially not down here.
I would counter saying that trying to lord it over people and, you know, maintain this rigid hierarchy is hardly building bridges, is it? I haven't presented myself to you tonight, and I won't. I'm not going to roll on the ground.
You're clear. You shouldn't have to roll on the ground for me.
But I think that's the point. You might not want me to, but the litany doesn't say that. The litany says I have to submit. Ultimately, that means I do whatever the higher ranking person wants. You know, Alonna, I have an objection to this that I've voiced several times.
Right? Yeah. We've actually had a long conversation about that.
But anyway, my point is, she has an idea about contacting a spirit, something she met on Eric's challenge for Adrian.
All right.
And you may not believe it, but she suggested that you be the one to summon it. There are plenty of theurges on Sept. I'm sure we could recruit, but I agree with her. It would be better if we kept it within the Sept. And there's clearly some bad blood going on between the Wendigo and the Fianna. And I think it would be important to improve that.
Let's try.
Saoirse will actually give a little bit of a nod at that.
I've tried being purely kind and nice to her. I've tried to go out of my way to help her. And she continues to show nothing but disrespect. I don't care if she flops on the ground in front of me. But she disrespects me, not because of who I am, but what tribe I come from. And that means she's disrespecting everybody that I've grown up with, that I've known. People who have lived and died for this nation. Disrespecting all of that, that is what I have a problem with. If she is willing to work on getting over her blind hatred, at least a little bit, I'd be more than happy to help.
I think it's very easy. And I don't mean easy as in simple, but I think it's easier for the people who win a conflict to desire peace. The Wendigo lost a lot. Now, you were brought up in the nation, I wasn't. I've simply heard what I've learned since coming on Sept. You know, less than 6 months ago. But they lost a lot. And it's easy when you've won to think, let bygones be bygones. What do the Wendigo have? A culture that's facing extinction. A handful of cairns in the north of Canada. While we, white people sit and are the majority in the country that used to be theirs and despoil it. Of course they're angry. And while I agree with you, we need to put this aside for the betterment of Gaia.
What spirit was it?
Will smiled. A nostalgia spirit, I think. Apparently it claimed to know everything that has been forgotten. The creature you talked to seemed to be, or imply at least, that it was ancient and unknown.
Aye. Says that it came before the three.
It seemed very proud of the fact, didn't it?
Indeed.
I suppose we can see about summoning it then.
Or not.
It's going to take a lot. Gonna have to talk around and find out what proper chiminage would be for it. I'm guessing secrets might work.
I don't know.
Not entirely sure though. I'll have to talk around.
We sacrifice
Well-
a secret from our mind or something. Something poetic.
I don't know a lot about spirits, but I do know what the word nostalgia means. It's usually just fond memories of the past. You see something that makes you think of your childhood and you feel nostalgia. So maybe proper chiminage for a nostalgia spirit would be a fond memory from your past.
Aye, but are we just simply sharing that memory? Or are we losing it?
Well, that's what we have to find out, I suppose.
That's for you theorists to work out. Will stands up at this point. I thought this conversation might be much tenser. Thank you, Saoirse. And he again kind of frowns to make sure he's pronouncing it correctly. I don't think he is.
She smiles. No problem. I've only just
Alonna
arrived,
then.
so I don't have much to say on the matter, but from what I've seen so far, she needs to learn to put aside differences as well. I know what you say, that it's easy for those that have won to say, let bygones be bygones, but those who have lost also need to be able to be the bigger person and work with those that they might not otherwise want to for the betterment of the nation.
Talatahin's actions don't purely come from her being simply just a Wendigo. She's a Metis.
I don't imagine not.
Her lineage makes her acutely, or has made her acutely aware of her clan's feelings towards others. She has desire to prove herself, and this makes her do silly things, like stick her hands into beams of light that she shouldn't. But she's a good theurge, and she's taught me a lot since I came here.
Well, I hope that that will translate into a more mature Garu in the future.
Will nods and smiles. You see, this is fun for me, because for once I'm not the idiot child that's getting everything wrong. But yeah, thanks very much, ladies. I'll leave you to it, and I'll tell Talatahin and Garrett that you'll be in contact about sorting out this summoning.
All right.
And
Have a good night.
You too. And Will leave, and he'll leave the beers he bought. There's only like a few, but yeah.
And Alonna cracks her beer. So which rate were you wanting to learn?
I figured I'd start with the easy ones. Breath of Gaia would probably be good.
Right, that involves taking deep breaths a lot, like 13 times.
She nods. And I will roll my Wits Rituals difficulty 7, and I fail. Well, looks like I need to keep trying.
Even measured breaths.
Right. Guess I rushed it too much.
And make sure you're taking a nice deep full breath, because you want that clean cleansing breath of Gaia to fill you.
Saoirse will nod.
And with that, we will go ahead and end this scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.